What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into a MVP Sports Live special. I'm gonna say, or a clip, a cut, mainly because we have news to talk about. We should have done, and there was a part of me that's like, we should do NFL on the show today. But literally, there was only one thing to talk about. There was a lot more in the NBA. So Jake and I decided to do the NBA on the show, and then have this small clip for the football faithful. Jake and I love football, love talking about the news. So we're going to hit the Julio Jones trade here. Before I get into everything, just the two things I'll throw out is if you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids. Hit that up in the link or become a channel member. And then also hit that subscribe button if you like the video, want to get more of it, and tell us what you guys think of the Julio trade down below. But Jake, Julio Jones did get traded over the weekend. It was to a team that I will take a partial victory lap to because I was a good host and brought this team up, even though I don't think either of us, I will have to re-listen to it, I don't think either of us thought that this team would actually land Julio. But the Tennessee Titans get Julio Jones. Deals of the trade is that the Falcons will get a 2022 second rounder, so a second round pick this year, and a fourth round pick next year. The Titans get Julio and a sixth round pick in 2023. The Titans will take Julio's salary of $15.3 million in 2021, and the rest of the deal, the Falcons will have $7.5 million in dead money this year. So you're looking at it and it's like, okay, Falcons only get a second and a future fourth. However, the big thing is here, they get that entire deal off the book. So it's like, okay, we do have some dead money this year. About half of the deal is in dead money this year, but they're getting all of that future deal off the books. The first thing I will ask you is was this the right price for the Falcons? Do you think any of the other teams that were interested, could they have gotten a better deal than the one they got from the Titans?
I think Adam Schefter reported that there were 3 teams in discussions. The Patriots never had interest. We threw them out.
Yep.
But they said the Titans were the only team willing to give up that much value. And I kind of have to stand back and laugh almost that the only team that would give up a second and a fourth for Julio Jones.
It's the money. It's the money. It just comes down to it. It's a lot.
I get that the money's a lot, but the salary cap in the NFL is fictitious, and we've learned that over the last couple of years. If you're a team that's on the border of competing, he is a guy who will push you over that pole. He is a top 3, top 5 receiver, probably top 3. But I think everybody thinks he's top 3 receiver in the NFL. He's generational talent. I know he's old, but he still has probably 4 to 5 years left of the production that he has. And if you can get 4 or 5 years of Julio for a second and a fourth, I genuinely don't understand the hesitancy from other teams besides the money, but I think there's ways around that. It's so questionable to me that I think the Titans is huge. And I think for the Falcons, I get it from their end. They're headed towards a little kind of retool/rebuild. Getting Julio's money off now and getting a second and a fourth is probably worth it for them. Obviously, they would have wanted a first. Getting a second and a fourth isn't terrible. That's why you took Kyle Pitts. You have Calvin Ridley. You have studs all around your field. It's just maybe getting a new quarterback in there and retooling a tiny bit, which is, I still said from the Falcons' perspective, I would have loved if they took a quarterback at 4, Justin Fields, and tried to get rid of Matt Ryan, which I know that a lot of teams might not have been interested, but you could not tell me you could not find a team for Matt Ryan for a 6.
I don't know.
He has an out after this season too. So the team would
so does Julio. I looked at SpotRack. So does he. Like, this is, who were the other teams that Schefter said was?
They didn't say.
Okay.
They didn't say. They just said 3 teams.
Because like for me, I can't wait until we find out, because that's gonna come out.
It will. It'll come out.
Also involved. I feel like a lot of the conversation was about the Eagles, being a surprise team that people were talking about, but like, I think the Falcons, this is what you had to do. Like, no, out of the 2, Julio was going to have the higher percentage of getting traded. You needed money off the books. This is a Falcons team that, let's be honest, is entering a rebuild. We got to retool some things. I know that I like that word because here in Chicago we use it nonstop. But like, you got to fix the money situation, because when they didn't have enough money to sign their rookies, that's like a problem in Madden that people hit and they go, I'll just start over. I'll just start over. You can't do that though in real life. When it comes to the Titans though, this is an A-plus move. I know that I saw Pat McAfee tweet out after the deal was done a picture of him from SmackDown where he's standing up on the announcer's table looking like he's screaming down at Michael Cole, and over Michael Cole's entire body it says Chris Ballard not wanting to give up a second and a fifth for Julio Jones, or for Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Which I was like, fuck yeah, Pat McAfee. Like, because now the Colts have to deal with him twice a year, because the one thing, A.J. Brown is good. He's developed into a good NFL player, a good wide receiver. The one thing this offense needed was a star wide receiver. A.J. Brown is great, but A.J. Brown to me is not near the level of what a Julio Jones is. He's not near the level what like a Mike Evans is in Tampa. He's not the guy to where it's like, okay, game on the line, you can't go to Derrick Henry. You can feel semi-confident in him, but it's not like a, oh yeah, oh gee, that's our guy kind of a thing. It's not like having Randy Moss out there in the clutch time. Hey, take the top deep. We're going to go ahead and win this game. I like him better as the number 2 to Julio's number 1, and just giving Ryan Tannehill a weapon to where it's like, okay, now a team, they can't just stack the box and be like, oh, we're going to let A.J. Brown beat you. Now it's like, oh, fuck, we can't stack that box against King Henry, because they do have a weapon like Julio now on the outside.
And I think a lot that's being overshown is they basically upgraded Corey Davis to Julio Jones. And I think talking about this trade a lot is people were like memeing it almost. Ryan Tannehill's been amazing the last 2 years.
Resurgence in Tennessee.
And Julio said he wanted somebody who could throw the ball deep, and guess what? Ryan Tannehill does that. I know that people wanted to meme him and say that he didn't, but he was probably a top 10 quarterback in the NFL last year and the year before that. So, and a lot of what they were missing in Atlanta for a time and they kept trying to solve is trying to build the passing game off of the strength of your running game. And that's exactly what you're going to get in Tennessee. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. I don't care what anybody says. He is the best. And putting him behind that offensive line and then putting Julio either in the slot or out wide with A.J. Brown there too, this offense is going to be disgusting. And Mike Vrabel is an up-and-coming, like one of the best coaches in the league, up-and-coming. So I love this move for Tennessee. I really don't see a single downside for them in making this deal.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm looking at, 2 things, is number 1, Ryan Tannehill. You brought up might have been a top 10 quarterback last year. Really, since leaving Miami in his 2 years with the Tennessee Titans, he has gone 7-3 before getting injured, because he got injured with the Titans. We were like, oh no, it's a Ryan Tannehill thing. He went 7-3 and then 11-5. He's had completion percentages of 70% and 65%. That's exactly around the area you want to see. He had 22 and 33 touchdowns, only 6 and 7 interceptions. Really, his last 3 years in the league, he's had less than 10 interceptions in each of those leagues, to where it's like, Ryan Tannehill, if you're sleeping on him, stop it. Because he's been a good quarterback the last 3 years, I would say. And then the other thing, too, is the only question I have about this offense heading into this year is the offense going to be exactly the same? Mainly because Arthur Smith, he is now with the Atlanta Falcons, who traded Julio Jones. He was the OC with the Titans. Now it's Todd Downing, who is going to be with the Titans. He was their quarterback coach last year. He is now their offensive coordinator. I'm looking up the last time he was an OC, Jake, was in 2017, and it was with the Raiders. And I want to see who his quarterback was with the Oakland Raiders that year.
It's still Carr, wasn't it?
Was it Derek Carr? Let's see.
20.
Passing records. Here we go. 2017, yeah, you're right, was Derek Carr for 15 games and EJ Manuel for 1.
E.J. Manuel, what a name. What a
Because
throwback.
Derek Carr in 16 and 17 only played 15 games each. Matt McGloin got a game in 2015, and then
We love Matt McGloin, Penn State legend.
Matt McGloin in 2016. EJ Manuel got a game in 2017. So yeah, he did have Carr. So it's not like he had. I wanted to see how far back it was because I was like, was that a year they had one of those trash quarterbacks right before Carr, or was that Carr? Because my memory is a little bit hazy. But he's a guy that's been with the Vikings as a TE coach in 18, was with the Raiders from 15 to 17. He's a quarterback guy, as he was a quarterback coach with the Raiders, the Bills, and the Lions throughout his career. So it's one of those to where it's like, how's the offense going to look? But for Julio Jones, that don't matter because it was going to be a new offensive coordinator anyways, because it was going to be different than what he saw in Atlanta.
Yeah, I love this outlook. I mean, from the Titans' perspective, their defense was shaky last year. I mean, they were top 10 in the places you don't want to be top 10 in touchdowns allowed, yards per play, plays, yards, whatever. But they were also top 10 in interceptions, so they're a very kind of risk-reward type defense.
Yeah.
And then their whole goal is to control the game. They want to control the game through Derrick Henry, limit the amount of touches the opposition has, and Julio Jones is going to be another way to help that. I mean, this offense is going to be wildly explosive. This team is the team that could be down 20 points at halftime, and I'm not going to say it's over because they have Julio Jones, Derrick Henry, and AJ Brown.
It's done guy is not going to say it's done.
Not with the Titans. So I think honestly it's a win-win all around. I know the Falcons fans. Also, I didn't say thank God Julio's out of the NFC South. Thank you. Finally. Now there's no debate. Michael Thomas is just the best wide receiver in the NFC South. Yeah, so I think it's a win-win from all sides. I think the Falcons are kind of slowly headed towards that retool that they've needed for a couple years, and it's going to be beneficial for both sides. Calvin Ridley will be able to see his growth. Kyle Pitts, I'm excited to see him. I think we'll see Matt Ryan probably move on next year, and then we'll kind of see the new generation start coming in for the Falcons.
Which the one thing I will say is this to me seems like a direct extension or the effect to the cause that was how the Titans season ended. Because like this Titans team they were division winners last year. They're probably going to win the division again. The Colts might be able to rival them, but I think that depends on Carson Wentz. It should be the Colts and the Titans division to win. One of those teams is going to win it. I think my money would be on the Titans.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they should be the heavy favorites now, right?
But I don't know. Like Carson Wentz. my brain's thinking NBA. If Carson Wentz plays well this year, that team now has a quarterback. So I'm not putting my money on it, but I'm saying there's a chance, Jake. There's a chance.
One, the Colts should have been the team to make this trade.
They should have.
Two,
Carson Wentz, Julio Jones.
This is the difference between the Titans and the Colts. This is why the Titans should be heavy favorites. Not saying I will pick them to win actually, and they should be.
Colts
heavy favorites.
draft better though. You were talking about drafting with the NBA before we recorded this. Chris Ballard, he does what you want to do. He's drafting these guys that are becoming good players for this playoff team.
But we're playing, like, when you look at the Colts and say that they could win the division, you're playing a lot of what-if games.
Yes.
Like, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. When you look at the Titans, you're like, they're just going to score 30 points a game. Yeah. So that's all that's going to happen with that team.
And I say this is a direct effect to what they did, like how their season ended last year. I remember watching that Ravens-Titans game and going, where's the fucking offense? Because basically the Ravens, what they did was they're like, we're just going to make life hell for Derrick Henry. We're just going to make life hell for him. I know he only walked out of there with 40 yards in the game. They were like, we're going to stack the box. We're going to take Derrick Henry out of the game. We are going to force A.J. Brown and Ryan Tannehill to beat us. And guess what? They couldn't effing beat him. Now, there was a part of that I am putting on Arthur Smith because I do remember watching that game going, there was one play I'm like, how do you call that in that situation? But no, the Ravens defense did exactly what they had to do. And also Lamar Jackson kind of played up a little bit it was more on the defense, taking Derrick Henry out of the game. Now you can get into a situation like that, and it's like, oh shit, Derrick Henry's out of the game. Oh yeah, that's right. We got Julio Jones on the outside. You got to worry about him too. It's either now who are you going to let beat you, Derrick Henry or Julio Jones?
Yeah, or AJ Brown. We're just gonna gloss over
AJ Brown. He is now a solid. He is probably one of the best number 2 receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I think this Titans team. Yeah, I honestly don't have words because I'm just so excited to watch this. It's going to be like the Brooklyn Nets offensively. Yeah.
Are they? Should they be higher Super Bowl favorites now? Does Julio move the needle that much?
I would agree. Yes, he does.
So now what is it? Chiefs, Titans, and then the rest of the AFC?
No, Chiefs, Bills, Titans. Don't forget
they're top
Bills.
3. They're top 3. Can't gloss over Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. I would have when you brought them up when we talked about this. That's a team I would have loved to see have Julio Jones. Stephon Diggs, Julio Jones, Josh Allen. Oh, that would have been great. But yeah, Titans get them. Do you think the Titans make the Super Bowl? I know I said
no, because the Chiefs do.
Okay, yeah.
As long as injuries forbidden. The Chiefs have done everything right this offseason, restructured their entire offensive line. There's no chance. I'm sure
Patrick Mahomes will have a healthy ankle.
Yes, when we do our NFL predictions, I'm almost certain we're both going to have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think I can spoil that for everybody. Ricky might go tinfoil and go against it.
I might go. See, here's the only thing. Like in the AFC, it depends on my AFC championship because I could see myself falling in love with the Bills again and just picking them to beat the Chiefs in the AFC championship game. But it's not going to be like in the AFC, it's not going to be an outlier like the Miami Dolphins with Tua go to the Super Bowl. It ain't going to be that. NFC will be interesting to see how that shit goes this year. But that's going to do it for our discussion on Julio Jones. Make sure to tell us what you guys think down below of the trade in that comment section. Also, join the Discord. Link is in the description. If you want to support us, either become a channel member or support us on Patreon, patreon.com/MVP vids. The link also right there in the description. You just click on it. Also, sub and comment and like and all that fun stuff. Hit that notification bell. Jake and I will be on the channel doing more things. Make sure to check out MVP Sports Live every weekday at about 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll do it for us. Thank you guys for giving us your time. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.